Baruk Atah Yahuah. Give me a word. Shalom. Shalom Mashpaka. It's Watchman Yahusha. Qadashayam of Yasharal. I actually wanted to come on here just briefly to share something. And I am not saying thus says Yahuwah. Okay? It's something that I've been watching close and been in much consideration about. And I want to share it now. Now, some of you who've been listening to me for a while have already heard me bring this out. And I make a reference to MK Ultra mind control, trauma-based mind control. A lot of you are familiar with that. You know what it is. You know how it works. My beautiful Yahusha and I, which, hello, honey, if you are listening. Talk about how in the Disney animations for the children, you know, we know about Walt, and we know what secret societies he's involved in, and how all the predictive programming and mind control works. And in trauma-based mind control, there is a character like Bambi's mom or Dumbo's mom, and there's a character that you are secure in, that you trust. If you look at what's happening in the whole world, but in America, with the idolatry and the worship of Trump, which obvious to me and several other people, the other side was propped up in order to build more love and allegiance to Trump, because everybody wants to be delivered from that insanity. So they're choosing the one who seems to be more with it all. And Hollywood, the media, the political front, it seemed like everyone was constantly trying to assassinate this guy, trying to take this guy out. Actual physical events as well, which make us think, oh man, they're doing everything they can to stop this guy. He's appearing to be up fighting against the beast system. All the people who follow the Q movement, which I'm familiar with, trust me, I was palaling for us to get a reprieve from the beast system myself. But as I continued to observe not only this character, but several of the other characters, and the Ruach of Yahuwah gives discernment to the false light. Okay? That's really what you're dealing with here, is the false light. Cybertruck just tried to cut me off. No, he's in my rear view now. Anyway, I began to realize that this person is not for us at all. In fact, he's fulfilling a lot of their ancient writings, esoteric, occultish writings of the golden dawn, the golden age. One who was, what's the word when you're conceived in a ritual moon? Okay, they do so much things with numerology, checking all the boxes, completing all the things. The 88, the double, what's the symbol where the serpent is swallowing its own tail? It's I can't recall now what that is. It's kind of like these winks and nods that go to time travel and a double infinity, and what's the thing like with the Berenstein Bears where they change? Oh, you guys got to forgive me. I'm an old guy. Can't recall a lot of the things. I believe that the wicked powers and entities that we are at war with in this world have long game plans in place. That's what the awakening is really all about. That's what Trust the Plan is really all about. It's their plan. The kingdom of darkness's plan. So it's easy for them to stage something, then go and change it later, or make it appear to be changed later, or newly discovered Egyptian hieroglyphics verify this and that, and they're going to be steering people into a new age. Hope you know that. Hope you understand that there's nothing new about the new age, that it's just a regurgitated ancient Babylonian mysticism, Kabbalistic ritual magic, okay, in which they have to make sacrifices to the powers and the entities that give them foresight, knowledge, and all this, and they require a payment, which is the life force of the innocent. And what is it that's forbidden for us in the scripture? We do not consume the blood because the life is in the blood. Amen. Amen. Okay. That's why we had everything with the milk cartons. That's why we have so high number of forcibly displaced people, lost people, trafficked people, enslaved people. Don't be deceived and naive to believe that slavery is somehow like something of the past. It's going on now at a level probably higher than ever, and the dark ritual magic is at the highest level as well. Everything has been uncloaked and unveiled, and lots of people are seeing what's going on. Okay, so there's kind of the premise of what this thing is that I got to tell you. And I've said this before several times, but it does feel like it's not heard, and so I wanted to try to get it out again because I think it's very, very timely right now. So the trauma-based mind control is that the person that you are putting your trust in, the person that you feel is going to deliver you from all the insanity, the darkness, the alphabet parade, whatever it is. And it's a lot because they've put a lot of it right out here in front of us. Okay? Wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, famine, disease, digital currency, just so much things, right? On and on and on and on and on. Literal civil war tension too, racial divide, all these things that I hope that you know that the Most High, our Father, our Creator, does not want us to be divided over things of the flesh. He's actually going to unite his entire body under his own headship, Yahusha HaMashiach, the Malak Sadak. So Baruk Yahuah, Halal Yahuah. This is not fear porn. It's just hopefully that there will be some people who receive this who want to ask questions. Hopefully there will be others who feel that they're alone that may hear this and realize that no, you're actually not alone. In fact, the Spirit, the Ruach of Yahuah, is giving us understanding across the board. So many of us are being awakened to these truths, and we're actually able to hear and discern when we hear others speaking the truth and know that is coming from the same Ruach, the same Spirit, the same power, the great I am, Ahaya, Ahar, Ahaya, Yahuah, the great I am, our Creator, Yahusha, the great I am, our Deliverer. So, when you see in mass worship of this person on a level that, it's happened before historically, I think that the kingdom of darkness has gotten everything into place now. When they get this spirit of Nimrod or Hashatan in the flesh, the one that they're waiting for, the son of perdition, the lawless one, all of it, okay, that even over in the land, those that say that they're Yashar'Al and do lie have been declaring him to be their Messiah, okay? Something happens to him where he actually is removed and taken out to spark the chaos of the entire world, because whoever it is that takes his place, loco, crazy, all holds barred, just full on chaos. Look, all the other powers, whether it's political, military, law enforcement, if they refuse to accept this loss, if they refuse to accept whatever the beast system tries to put in his place, and they just go rogue, they just go hog wild, yeah, you already are looking at possibly 90% of the enslaved wicked spirits being loosed, so that it is as in the days of Noah. Like, the scripture tells us, right? This is going to be darkness such as never has been seen upon the face of the earth. So everything climaxing all at once. Weather, fiery mountains, earthquakes, tsunamis, whirlwinds, if I didn't say that already. Then we got the big three, right? War, famine, pestilence. The stage has already been set. They've been waiting for the event. We've also been watching very closely to see if there's going to be a very large alien deception. Like, think about that War of the Worlds, that when Mars attacks thing that played out on the radio, and how people just went into hysteria and lost their minds. And this was a radio show, you guys. So imagine it now going viral on the interwebs, on the TikToks and whatever, but also being accompanied by technology that we've only seen just glimpses at. By the time you see the technology that they have, they've had it for a while. You know what I mean? It's already, whatever, declassified, call it whatever you want. They got tech that we don't know about. You don't know everything that's out there. You don't know all the patents. You don't know all the stuff that goes on deep underground military bases. You don't know the extent of the tunnels that are out there. We don't know, guys. We got to be honest about that. Okay, we don't know. So when the real lying signs and wonder hits, even the very elect could be deceived, right? In fact, the time has to be cut short, or else all flesh would perish. So this is going to be like on a level we hadn't seen. I'm going to, Abba willing, day after tomorrow, I want to go live 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want to go through chapter 7, the book of Yashar'Al. If you hadn't read it, read it. If you're familiar, let me know what your thoughts are. Definitely ties in with, man, all the prophets tie in. It all ties in. His stuff is all perfect. That's his word. It is perfect. Hath, Galuth, or Revelation, Chazun, the vision. We did a whole series on it. So as I just skimmed back through the chapter again today, because it came up in my memories from last year, and tying it into America. I believe that modern day Babylon is the beast system, which is a global, which no, I don't believe on a whirling ball flying through space. But I use the word global because it describes their network, the Kabbalists, the elite, the 6,000-year-old death cult, whatever you want to call it. Part of the trick is to have so many different secret societies that it makes it seem like they're not working together, that they're not conspiring together. But Psalm 2 kills that in one fail swoop, because it says the kings of the earth conspire together to make war against Yahuwah, against his Hamashiach. And there's another one where we don't have it in a canon, but in Yubalim, I believe it's the book of Jubilees, it actually says that they make war with the Qadashim, the Qadashayam, which would be my righteous peoples, from Yahuwah's perspective, my righteous peoples, or Yashar'Al, Yashar, upright, Alahim. Doesn't that just make a lot more sense to you that he would call his bride Yashar'Al and not Isis, Ra, and El? Those are 3 foreign mighty ones. Man, you guys, the reach of the beast is pretty remarkable. It really is. It's, you know, obviously, you know, we believe that our Qadash king has all power. So the enemy is only really able to do whatever it is that the Most High allows him to do. Okay? But he has indeed allowed him to build up this entire system. When I read that the sons of Noah, asked their father to go to Yahuwah and ask him to remove all the wicked spirits that were loosed on the earth, Nach went to Yah, and Yah agreed. And it was the chief commander of the Dark Legion that then counter petitioned the king, saying, leave 10% of them loosed, for it is this purpose that they were created. Let them be under my command. And the Most High Yah agreed to allow 10% of them to remain loose. And then he commanded the Malachim, the angels, to give Nach writings on how to treat pharmakia with apothecary, like herbs and plants and natural remedies, so that they could make war against these wicked Ruach Ha'Qadash. Okay? Just thinking, I'm sure would love to know how to get our hands on that. And maybe Abba's going to reveal it, along with something else, which I believe would be the Barit Chadashah in the original Abrith tongue. And, you know, a lot of the sons and daughters of Yah are learning to speak in this pure language, in this pure tongue. And the number one thing about it, first of all, it's a fulfillment of prophecy, Zephaniah 3:9, but also like stopping to speak curses. Imagine that you're speaking curses over yourself and your loved ones, and you don't even know it, because you've been deceived and don't even know what those words are. So being able to just simply stop saying those things has to have a very powerful effect on all of Yashar'Al. Awakening, coming into more power, more authority by the Ruach of Yahuwah, because he will use his people to exercise his judgments and his wrath, and to tear down principalities, powers, dominions, strongholds, all this false stuff. What we've been doing for a while. No, the beast is going to be looking for us. Truth tellers, you can't be out here doing that. And you know, that's his perspective, is you can't be out here doing that. And I'm going to come for you. But our strength is not in ourselves. Our strength is not in our understanding, our wisdom. Our strength is in the one who lives in us. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. Right? We don't need to be afraid of that or them. Nuh-uh. We just need to be obedient. Do what the Father calls you to do, and steer yourself away from unclean things. Don't compromise, brothers and sisters. Please, right? Even like sometimes you might make a thing to be like, yeah, well, I just listen to this music or that music because it doesn't have, you know, because I'm more powerful than it. It doesn't have that effect on me. I would just encourage you. Why? Cut it out. You don't need it. right? Different things, movies, books, magazines. Cleanse your camp. Now is the time to cleanse your camp. Remember what happened in the book of Yahusha, Joshua, right? They weren't getting the victory over the giants in AI. Interesting name, right? Then they came and found, oh, you got a cursed thing in your camp. You got a member in your camp that's hiding relics of the enemy in their tent. You got to get rid of all that stuff, burn it up, cut that wicked branch out, and then they get the victory. Then they go up and they get the victory. Halal Yahuah. So cleanse your camp, right? I mean, think about it, bro. Like, if you're not sure, then just err on the side of like losing it, because so what? I mean, think about fasting. Isn't that really kind of the whole strengthening of fasting, is being like, yo, I don't need this, I don't need that, I need Yahuwah, I need to obey my Father. He's my life, he's my strength, he's my song. He's the one who makes your temple healthy and strong. I'm not saying that every time you're sick it's because of this. I'm not saying that. What's the main thing that we can do? Submit ourselves to his commandments, to his statutes, have love for one another, cover one another's transgressions like Yahusha covered yours with his own blood, right? I'm not saying that we wink. Oh, no, by no means. We call a spade a spade. But then you know what? Listen, let you know about your hair. Don't be neck that out. Like, to not do that no more. I don't know why my phone is beeping at me right now. That's pretty frustrating. All right. I really just wanted to kind of drop that about 88, the Golden Dawn. What a powerful deceiver. You're looking at high level magic. You're looking at some serious sorcery. You guys see how the spell that people are under? There are some people who, you know what, man? Listen, I told you that I had a memory from Yashar'Al chapter 7. And I shared that, and it's making me want to talk about that chapter the day after tomorrow. There was a comment in there from a person's book that I consider to be a brother and a friend for, oh my gosh, you guys, I don't even know, 7 years. And I was like, oh wow, look at that, I haven't seen him forever. And I clicked on the picture from his comment. It said 3 years ago. We ain't friends no more. He must have unfriended me. You know what instantly came upon my spirit? Yeah, because you've been saying things about Trump. See, that's the thing. You know how many people have departed from me because I dare to say anything about their beloved Trump? You probably deal with it too. You probably deal with it in the family, with different friends on social media, whatever. How many of you honestly can go out, like go to work and then sit there and break bread with coworkers and share all these truths? Baruk Yahuah, if you can't, if you can, my experience is that we're scattered. I got to socialize with brothers and sisters online because I can't get face to face. I can't have feasts with people. He knows I never did anything to him, but he chose to unfriend me because he couldn't stomach me bringing out things. Now, I don't know this for sure, guys, but that's my discernment. Okay, that's what I felt in my spirit at the time, was like, yeah, he unfriended you probably because what you say about Trump. I have a whole playlist about Trump on my YouTube channel. I was in Palal for this guy when he first came out. You know, I was like, hey, look, Yahuwah can use anybody. He could be using this guy who come up in their system, and he's, you know, maybe he's going to give us some, I said mercy at the time, chesed, some favor. Yeah, I don't believe that anymore. Okay? And if you still do, I would ask you to look into it, to test it, to examine it. There's been a lot of stuff that's come out. And go watch the playlist if you want to see some of the stuff broken down. I can't remember every single thing off the top of my head, but it's pretty amazing. Like, I don't know why you would ever accept a crown in Jerusalem from people who don't even believe in the Messiah and then calling you the Messiah. You're supposed to be a Christian. You're supposed to believe in all this. And then you're like, oh yeah, sure, I'll take your crown. What? Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah, you claim to believe in Christianity, but some group of folks over here want to go ahead and call you the Messiah, and you're like, oh yeah, what an honor. Bro, please. That's seriously crossing the line. You know? Yeah. And all the other things, right? Like I'm even, I have to say, you know, what a strong delusion. If it wasn't for the Father, I would still be deceived. Because even in I don't even know. My wife would correct me. She wouldn't be wrong. Late into his first term, probably, because she saw the truth before I did. I still continued to palaw and be like, oh, Father, please, you know, like, let us have a reprieve through this person. And I'm sure that's what a lot of people will say. And they'll say, oh, he's not my pastor, he's my president. And all that. But I guess that's the thing with idolatry, right? You don't really know that you're an idolater until you get convicted, and then you see it, and then what are you going to do? You're going to turn away from it. Just like you did turn away from putting up an Xmas tree. You used to put that Xmas tree up, right? Somebody, probably the first time somebody told you, oh, Jeremiah chapter 10 says, you know, they chop down a tree, they fix it with nails, they adorn it with gold and silver, then they bow down to it, get gifts. See, it's talking about a Christmas tree. You're like, that ain't about a Christmas tree. That's about carving a little wooden idol of a little God, right? Because you didn't want to admit it. That's what I did. It took me a while. Right? And the first year that I didn't have a tree, turned right around, came back the next year, had a tree again. All I can say, man, is thank you, Father, because you were patient with your servant, and I was slow to learn. You know, slow to learn. Just like I was all in the rest of my life, with the drugs and the alcohol and all those things. But he puts us through these things for a reason. So people out here that are stuck in this stuff, I'm gonna still keep trying to come to them, share this with them, and may the Father, open their eyes, and may they come out of it, because it is a very strong delusion, a very powerful delusion. All of Christianity is lawless idolatry, doing away with the commandments of the Most High Yah. Those are his loving. Man, look, if you're a father and you really love your son or your daughter, you tell them the things that you know are best for them. Sometimes whether they like it or not, whether they understand or not, because you know more than they do. And you try to tell them what's up. You let them know what's going on. That's what his word is. That's what his commandments are. All these commandments are making a lot more sense to us in these latter days, protecting us from a lot of things. Look at the food. Look at the food commandments. You see how aggressively the enemy is attacking the food supply? Bro. Yeah. I'm watching really close, because the Pope, right? And then he just so happened to die at 88 years old, which numerically fits this man right here, the Trump, okay? You believe in their comms, you believe in their, they are infatuated with numerology and gematria and all this stuff. So I just say, hey, let's try to watch that and see what's going on, because it may help us to understand more the exact moments that we're in, how we palal about these things. But like I said earlier, where do we go from there, family? Straight into submission, straight into obedience. That's where we need to be all the time anyways, right? Make your amunah strong. Amunah like Abraham. Yeah. Amunah like Abraham. No matter what happens, don't fear the enemy. Fear Yahuwah, the Most High. Alhim. All right, Abba willing, I'll see some of you this coming Shabbat. And I want to try to look at Yashar'Al chapter 7. some of Revelation, and wherever the Ruach of Yahuwah leads us from there. Because he's it. He is the one and only Elohim. He is our deliverer. I saw somebody trying to say that the Thurah was finished because Yahusha said it is finished. But see, this is what it is when we don't have understanding. I didn't know anything about the certificate of divorcement for the northern tribes, the lost sheep of Yashar'Al. You know what was finished? Their divorce. Yeah, because when the husband willingly lays his life down for his bride, he cancels out the certificate of divorcement, and he alone is able to rise from the dead and intends to marry her again at the wedding feast of the Lamb. And that is the Baruk hope that I look forward to. The Basura, the greatest news ever. That the King of all creation loves me enough to lay his life down, to redeem me, to ransom me, so that I can be one with him forever. And not just him, my brothers and sisters that are more numerous than the stars in the Shemayim and the sands on the seashore. I can't wait, family. I'm saying let's just go, let's just get it on. You guys want to do some kind of a thing with the Donald here? Do a mind break, MK Ultra trauma based mind control at a level never seen on the earth before, with all the technology and everything else? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But can you imagine if you understand what MK Ultra is and how it works? What do you think is going to happen to these people? They're not putting their trust in the Most High. Hey, man, they're calling on the names of foreign mighty ones. They're eating meat sacrificed to idols. No offense, I'm just calling a spade a spade. That's what they're doing. They're taking his name in vain. They entered themselves into contract. They went into agreement with the foreign mighty one. Probably several. I really don't know, you guys. I don't. And why wouldn't it be several? They can attach themselves to one vessel. Right? Ain't that what they told Yahusha? We are legion, for we are Many, which is also the name of a foreign mighty one. An inauguration is the beginning of a powerful spell. This guy said that he was a stable genius. Stable, the etymology is like mighty, unshakable, unmovable, stable, strong. And a genius comes from the root word jinn, which means demon. He just told the whole world he's a strong demon. And they like applauding. You see, they'll think I'm crazy, but they can't hear his voice, man. They don't have the ability to hear the truth. You either do or you don't. Right? And I didn't until I did. And I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. But I know this. I wouldn't know nothing if it wasn't for Yahuwah. I would know nothing if it wasn't for the Ruach of Yahuwah giving me eyes to see and ears to see, ears to hear his truth. Somebody might want to sit in judgment of me that I'll listen to news broadcasts. But when I watch news broadcasts, I feel like I literally see Nephilim clown faces. I've been seeing them all over the place. All the faces of the so-called astronauts of blue origin had that same look on their face. That's why I thought of that old Genesis, the 80s band from, Phil Collins, right? Land of Confusion. Remember how the puppets, how their faces look like? How their cheeks look all Botox and their lips look all blown up and Botox. That's how these people look like. That's how those wicked spirits that were chasing me in my dream looked like. I think there's something to that. I think there's something to that whole thing with clowns, with the makeup, with the red nose, with the really weird big smile like Joker face. Yeah, I do. I think there's something to it. Just like I think there's something to feathered serpents and dragons being hid from us in the scripture. You want to think that it's a little snake crawling around on an apple tree. I don't think so. I think that's why the Father warned us so much to stay away from all these different kind of images, because once we get these images in our minds, it's difficult to get past them. And I think it's also helpful to get into root word etymology studies and start looking at these things. And plus look at all these ancient structures that they claim were built in the 1800s, and we all know perfectly well they didn't have power tools. They were using horses, for strength, ox for lifting power. They need to consume a lot of water. There's no paved roads. It's all mud. It's just not even possible for these megalithic stone structures to exist. And they have a lot of evil imagery incorporated into them. Numerically, the geometry, whatever, however you want to look at it, the enemy got their fingerprints all over these structures. Every single Capitol building in the U.S. is like this, and it ain't just here. It's everywhere, all over the whole world, you guys. There's something seriously going on. If those things aren't constructed at the time that the Nephal were upon the earth, I'm really kind of at a loss to understand it. But I know it ain't alien technology from another planet, because it ain't even no other planet. We're on a fixed plane covered by an impenetrable dome. Nobody's getting out of here. They want you to believe that lie, but it's fantasy. I don't know. We'll see what they got going on. And I think tonight and tomorrow is going to be like some meteor showers too. So I'd like to try to have a fire maybe Tuesday night and go outside and take a look at what's going up in the Shemayim. All esteem to Yahuah family. So much love to you guys. Try to join us on the live, Abba willing, on Shabbat, the Pagan Day Wednesday. They hit it right in the middle of the week. Can you imagine that? I can. Baruk Atah Yahuah, our Elohim. I'm almost home, honey. I'll see you soon if you're on here. Love you. Mwah.